Hey guys, Dusty Smith here, and this month marks my 10-year anniversary on YouTube. Yay, we did it! I have no idea how many channels have managed to last 10 years on YouTube, but mine's one of them. And also, we just passed 250,000 subscribers, which I know ain't shit, but I never thought I'd get there. And I usually don't make personal videos, but so much crazy shit has happened in the last 10 years. Doing my show on YouTube has changed my life immensely over the last 10 years. It cost me my marriage, cost me most of my family, sent me spiraling into a really cringy midlife crisis. So in this video, I thought I would share with you guys the behind the scenes stuff that happened over the last 10 years, talk about my ups and downs, my mistakes and regrets, my failures, and share with you guys the behind the scene look at 10 years of the cult of Dusty. So the first few videos I didn't show my face, I didn't use my voice, and I had some basic editing skills because for a very brief time, I was actually a wedding videographer, which absolutely did not go well. Working with brides was a nightmare. Nobody wanted to pay me. I went bankrupt in about 6 months. But I did learn some very basic editing skills, which I used to piece together my first couple atheist videos, and thus the cult of Dusty was born. And the immediate response was actually a lot more positive than I thought it was going to be. The channel started taking off faster than I ever expected it would. And so with all the nice comments on my first few videos, I started getting more confident. Eventually, I got confident enough to start appearing in my own videos. And before you know it, my channel really fucking started taking off. I had a couple videos that were seen over 1 million times. And pretty much every video I put out was seen at least a couple 100,000 times. Honestly, it was beyond my wildest dreams. And I'm gonna be 100% honest with you guys. That shit went to my head big time. That shit changed me. And not for the better. Things have kind of changed over the years, but 5 or 6 years ago, becoming popular on YouTube was basically like being a rock star. Suddenly, out of nowhere, I went from being a nobody in the backwoods of Mississippi to having celebrities message me and privately ask me to come hang out with them. I'm not gonna name drop or anything because these people didn't want to be publicly associated with me. And I never did actually go hang out with any of them. But I had several very well-known people message me and tell me they were fans. And then I started getting messages from women, like literally, some of the most beautiful women I'd ever laid eyes on began messaging me and flirting with me. And I had never experienced anything like that before, and that shit went to my fucking head, dudes. I began to think I was the fucking shit. I got cocky and arrogant, full of myself, and I behaved like a total asshole to my wife. I acted like a fucking cad. Cute local soccer moms were messaging me, asking me to have affairs with them and shit. And like up to that point, I had been married like 16 years. I had been faithful to my wife for 16 years. But like I said, that shit changed me, man. I became selfish and disloyal. And for a while, it was just flirting. It felt good to have these beautiful women want me. And after a while, I started becoming a selfish asshole and I just gave in to temptation. And this is not an excuse for my behavior, but just to explain, I'm a fucking dork and I've always been a goddamn dork. Like growing up, I had a few girlfriends here and there, and I had sex a few times when I was a teenager. But to be honest, I was a chubby kid. I wasn't good with women. I didn't do well with women. And on top of that, I was a giant fucking Christian dork, which didn't help any. So I basically only had one major girlfriend when I was a teenager. And I got married really young when I was 21. And I was married for 17 years. So I never really sowed any wild oats. I think up to that point, I had only been with like 4 women in my life. I never really felt handsome or desirable. And then suddenly, when I'm pushing 40, all these young women start messaging me and showing interest. And it basically triggered a full-on midlife crisis. I mean, fucking textbook. I went out and bought me a shiny red sports car shaped like a penis, and I began fucking around on my wife. Which, looking back, was a really fucking shitty thing for me to do because she was an amazing woman. She is an amazing woman. She was loyal to me the entire time we were married. She was a fucking awesome wife. And I let my ego get the best of me and I fucked that shit up. And she had way too much self-respect to take that shit. She didn't like the person I had turned into. She didn't like the cult of Dusty. And unsurprisingly, she divorced the shit out of me. Which obviously I don't blame her for at all. She went out and she found her somebody better. Somebody that treats her the way she deserves to be treated. She found her a really nice guy who treats her well, and I'm really happy about that. I deeply regret the way I behaved. Because of my own selfishness, I hurt somebody who had done nothing but be good to me and didn't deserve it. But anyway, at the time, I didn't really even care. I had all these attractive young women messaging me, and like most men who are going through a midlife crisis, I was afraid this was my last chance to get out there and sow my wild oats before it was too late for me. I was actually excited about being single at first. I decided to lose a bunch of weight, get in shape, move to Denver, Colorado, and try to live all those experiences that I missed out on when I was young. Look at this, I got super fucking skinny. And back in the day, YouTube is not like it is now. You could actually make a lot of fucking money on YouTube. I think I cleared maybe $8,000 last year on YouTube. But back in the day before the adpocalypse, you could easily make $5,000, $6,000 per video. So I got in shape and I bought me some fancy clothes and I moved into the nicest building in all of Denver in a $2,000 a month apartment right on the main strip of the 26th Street Mall in downtown Denver. The absolute best spot in the entire city. And I lost my damn mind. I started drinking really heavily. I was drunk almost every day. Almost every fucking day I was either on acid or ecstasy. Like I said, being popular on YouTube 5 or 6 years ago was like being a rock star. And I basically moved to Denver to live that rock star life. And I fucking did, man. At one point, for about 2 months, I even moved my drug dealer into the apartment with me. It just made it much easier to have an unlimited supply of drugs with him right there the whole time. And I figured if we got busted, he would take the blame for the whole thing and I would get away scot-free. Like I said, I was drunk and on acid just about every day, so I wasn't really thinking very clearly. And just to clarify, I wasn't on any really hard drugs. I never did meth, I never did heroin, never smoked crack, never injected anything into my veins. I pretty much stuck to psychedelics, acid, ecstasy, marijuana, occasionally ketamine. I did coke 3 or 4 times. Of course, we were also taking lots and lots of Adderall, which is pretty much like meth. And basically, I just turned into a giant self-absorbed douche. It was around this time where I was trying to be such an edgy asshole, and I made those awful jokes about watermelon and fried chicken on Martin Luther King Jr. Day. And I made that stupid racist joke about the Ferguson riots. I was just on drugs out of my fucking mind, acting like a goddamn shithead. And I actually did date a lot of really beautiful women when I was there. But to be honest, it was fucking awful. I didn't enjoy it at all. I was fucking lonely. I was fucking lonely as shit, man. I missed my wife. I thought there was this big hole in my life that I was gonna go out there and try to fill. But then I realized there wasn't actually any hole in my life at all. I had everything I wanted. And by being selfish and cheating and going out and doing this, I actually created a giant hole in my life. And I kind of started getting a reputation for being a ladies' man, but it wasn't really true. All that shit was fake. I mean, I did go out on a lot of dates, but I got rejected far, far more than I ever succeeded. Because the truth is, no matter how much weight I lost, or no matter how popular I was on YouTube, no matter how many fancy clothes I bought, for the most part, I was still that dorky, chubby Christian kid. I never really had any fucking game. The things I had to do to get those women were never worth it, never. I know for some guys it's easy. I guess some guys are taller or better looking or have better game and they don't have any problem with that shit. But for me, it just wasn't easy and it wasn't worth it. I was fucking miserable. Looking back, I see now I was totally superficial. My main criteria for women was their looks. And looking back, I see that's just dumb as fuck, man. Now I understand that having your main criteria be somebody's looks only leads to misery. Yeah, looks are important. You have to be attracted to the person. But the number one main criteria you should look for in a mate is loyalty, which is exactly what I had and I threw away. But I didn't deserve it because I wasn't loyal myself. As I've said many times before, one good girl is worth a million bitches. And if you don't have loyalty, you ain't got shit. And honestly, dudes, I didn't like the person I had become. I became disgusted with myself. I don't know who that person I became was, but it's not me. I didn't want to be that person anymore. And like honestly, most of those women I went out with, they were just trying to use me. Either they thought I had money they could use me for, or they thought they could use me to make themselves famous on YouTube, which is completely to be expected because I was being superficial. So how could I not expect them to be superficial too? And yeah, I had a lot of fun in Denver, but I was lonely and tired of being rejected by these women. Tired of not knowing if they liked me for who I am or not, or if they were just trying to use me. Until I almost gave up on women completely. But then luckily, I met my current girlfriend. We've been together 4 years now. She's incredibly sweet and incredibly loyal. And I was finally able to get over my cringy ass midlife crisis and realize just how important that was. And just how important it is to be loyal in return. Because you can't expect loyalty back if you're not going to give it. So I've been completely loyal to her for the last 4 years. And I kind of had a crisis of conscience. I started noticing that I was attracting a lot of fucking shitheads in my fan base. I started realizing the kind of people that I was drawing into my life. I didn't like the person I had become. I did not like the people I was attracting. And I set out to change it. And I did. It doesn't matter that my videos are no longer being seen hundreds of thousands of times. It doesn't matter if I'm irrelevant. I don't really care about any of that anymore. All I want to do now is make my videos for a small, loyal audience, and that's what I'm doing. Talk about the things that I think are important to talk about. So then I moved back to Mississippi, and I finally got a chance to do the thing I wanted to do for so many years. I finally got to open my animal sanctuary. I mean, I literally spend my days cleaning up piss and shit. Every day, piss and shit. But I wouldn't trade it for the world, man. Yeah, I'm embarrassed about how I behaved. I'm embarrassed about all that shit. And when I look back at my behavior, yeah, a lot of it's fucking cringy as fuck, but I would not change it for anything because it led me to where I am today, and I'm fucking truly happy now. I'm finally truly doing what I love. It's very likely that I've already passed the peak of my popularity. It's very likely I'm never going to get back there again. But I'm finally at a place in my life where I'm doing exactly what I love. I'm making videos for a small, very loyal audience who is supporting me and helping me fund my animal sanctuary. And honestly, I cannot thank you guys enough who have stuck with me. And I realize I'm still making mistakes. I'm still doing cringy shit. I still absolutely have a lot to learn. But I promise you guys, I'm working on it. So nowadays, I'm just getting chubby again, enjoying my life. Over the last few years, the growth of my channel has been really stagnant. But recently, I've started to get a boost again, and I just passed 250,000 subscribers. Which, like I said, I know ain't shit, but I never thought I'd fucking get here, dudes. So thank you guys so much for coming on this journey with me. Thank you so much to those who stuck it out, and thank you so much to those who have supported this channel. It's been one hell of an adventure, and hopefully I'm just getting started, and the Cult of Dusty will still be going strong 10 years from now. I hope you guys have enjoyed this trip down memory lane with me. I can't stress enough how much I fucking love you guys. And as always, until next time, Logic. Fuck yes. Hey guys, Dusty Smith here. We've been finding homes for our latest batch of kitten rescues. These are the ones we still have left, and they're cute as shit. As most of you know, the main reason I still make videos is to support my animal sanctuary. We do a lot of good work here, and if you guys enjoy my videos, please consider supporting us on Patreon. Even $1 or $2 really helps. Thanks, guys.